Let's hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots from goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Bucket with Jo. Good afternoon, everyone. Jo here of SportsGrid. It's time for a Puck with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV. Now, apologies for the later start today. I had a couple of things that had to get done before the show kicked off. So we're a little bit later than normal, but we've got a ton of games to go over, plenty of opportunities to make some money. Now, the home teams, the Winnipeg Jets, continued to roll hot, getting win number 11 last night. So the Ottawa Senators, I was shocked with how weak they did look out there. The Winnipeg Jets will be in action again tonight. So we'll look at their matchup versus the Nashville Predators. Kind of fishy lines, you guys. So something definitely to watch for, but a loaded slate out there. We did see the trends to the under, except Colorado. You know, they just had to put up one more goal to push that one to the over. So it was a great night out there on the ice. Only 3 games, but today, again, we got a loaded slate. Matt, thank you for being here. So let's jump straight into it, you guys. It's going to be a longer show than yesterday's show for sure. We'll go over each and every single game, picks, props, and predictions. We got a lot of players looking for 50th point, 60th point, 20th goal, and those kind of things. So we'll go over each and every single one of those. Quick reminder again, if you aren't following for the Cup of Joe, make sure you do so. Our Cup of Joe just rolled so fantastically hot yesterday, outing Paul George and Josh Giddey in the NBA. We made some great plus money, so went 9-1 on the Cup of Joe. So hopefully you guys came out and tailed on that. But let's talk some hockey. The first one here, the Edmonton Oilers versus the Florida Panthers. Now this one has a total of 6.5. It's minus 110 to either way of the 6.5. With the Oilers at plus 116 and minus 140 for the Florida Panthers. Now, I do think the Florida Panthers are the right way. Looking at the Edmonton Oilers outside of the break, they've been looking so sloppy out there. They can't do anything defensively. And they've had a kill that's really struggled all season. That kill sitting right around 73%. So against a team like the Florida Panthers, we know this was our Stanley Cup matchup last season. I think they're going to struggle again even with Matthew Tkachuk out of the lineup here. I look at Bobrovsky, I look what he's been able to do versus Edmonton, and I look at the power play here of the Florida Panthers, and I just can't see a way that Edmonton is able to pull off the win. Now, when we look at the Florida Panthers, they are off that win versus the Preds 4-1 in their Tuesday game. They will face the Flames on Saturday, so they do have a day in between. And like I said, Edmonton coming out of the break they've fallen flat. They've lost that last 4. In 3 of those games, they've been outscored 17-7. So it just hasn't been pretty. The Carolina Hurricanes on Saturday to end this long road trip that they have been on. It's been the last 3 games out of the break that they have taken those losses. So just not good for them here. We're looking here, I do think, at a higher scoring game. So that 6.5 is coming in at minus 110. I think it's a 4-3 style. I still think you look for Leon Draisaitl to come out nice and strong like he's been doing. He's been getting us those goals out there on the ice. So I would look at Leon Draisaitl for the Edmonton Oilers. We still got Zach Hyman circling for goal number 20. He's got 19 goals and 14 assists. So definitely a milestone he's looking to set there. When we look at Leon Draisaitl, he's top of the MVP market for the Hart Trophy, 43 goals, 44 assists for 67 points. When we look at some playmakers here for the Florida Panthers, Sam Reinhart, 31 goals, 32 assists for 63 points right now. But it's Sam Bennett that I'm going to circle. Sam Bennett for goal number 20 tonight. He has 19 goals and 18 assists on the season for 37 points. I also think Barkov is a strong look tonight. Barkov, 14 goals, 40 assists for 54 points. So maybe Parlay Bennett and Barkov for a point tonight would be a strong way to go. I'd throw Sam Reinhart in there as well. I do think he's going to get in the mix tonight. Yeah, you got to look for that 20th goal for sure. Yeah, Bo Horvat, we're going to actually talk about next. we're looking at the New York Islanders versus the Boston Bruins, you guys. Now, this one here, it's interesting that Boston's a dog at home. We're starting to see this line shift. They were plus 102, plus 100 on a lot of books earlier this morning. Now they're minus 106, minus 113 on the road here for the New York Islanders. And I'm still shaking my head at this one. Sorokin hasn't looked pretty coming out of the break either. He's been like the Edmonton Oilers. He's been shaky. Total 5.5, minus 124 to the over. Now, I can see this one going over that total because I do trust in Boston to be able to come out strong offensively in this one. Couple of playmakers that I'm looking to circle, but I don't understand why the books are giving the New York Islanders so much respect with what we've seen. Sorokin's allowed, or in that game for him versus the Rangers, he allowed 5 goals and 11 shots. So why are they coming in as the favorite? Got Swayman in net tonight for the Boston Bruins. The Bruins are off a brutal loss that they need to bounce back. That loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs must have just struck them straight in the heart. They got up in that game. They couldn't hold on to it, and they lost it in overtime. So Boston's going to be looking to seek a little bit of revenge. I do think this is a good angle to look at the Boston Bruins in the first period on the puck line, laying the half a goal to come out and get the win. Or you could, that would have to be because they are the dog, or you can just look at them straight up on the money line. You're going to get the money line at minus 105. So I think it is a great way to go in this matchup. Now, when we're looking at playmakers, because I have a lot of playmakers listed, and then I've also got a note for you guys. The Islanders just have not played strong in Boston either. They've only won one of the last 5. Now, they did win that last game. It was an overtime win, 5-4. Another game where we saw Boston break down. So one thing we can really look at here, if we see Boston go up by a couple goals, coming back in on the Isles plus 1.5 at that price, I do think it ends up in a 1-goal game. Now, Noah Dobson is returning back to the lineup for the Islanders, so that is an addition to their defense. Here we know Charlie McAvoy still out on the other side, but Noah Dobson doesn't instill that fear that some other defensive players coming back would instill in me. The over has been the big trend between these two, 7-2-1 in the last 10 games to the over. So let's talk about some of those players and where they're sitting for milestones. So Bo Horvat, you guys threw out there in the comments, yes, goal number 20 tonight, I do think is on track. We tried to hit it in his last game out. He wasn't able to get there. So versus the Rangers. So goal number 20, I'm going back to 19 goals, 22 assists for 41 points. I do think you can look at his shots on goal as well. He was trying his darndest in that game versus the Rangers. He did put out 5 shots on goal, 3 versus Dallas, 2 versus the Wild, and 4 versus the Jets. So we look at the Bruins defense. They're allowing like 28.7 shots on goal per game. So you're going to see Bo Horvat get the ability to get those shots. With those shots comes the opportunity, of course, to score those goals. Now, when we look at playmakers for Boston, I love these lines, and I've been going over these lines in depth this morning for the Boston Bruins because I do think it's a great opportunity to make some freaking money with them today. Kev, good morning to you. So when we look at them, the top power play line, and so your top power play line has Brad Marchand, Elias Lindholm, Pasternak, and Morgan Geekie. So Zacha and Coyle are on the second power play. So something to note there. I like to take players when we're combining them that are on the same line and the same power play. That top line, you have David Pasternak, Zacha, and Morgan Geekie. So I think those 3 players, looking at them for their points today. Now, Morgan Geekie for goal number 20. It is on my card today. I will take him for that goal. I think he has every ability. So 19 goals, 12 assists for 31 points on the season. Pasternak, we know how hot he's rolling. 72 points, you guys. He's trying to chase Leon Draisaitl there. So 30 goals, 42 assists. Zacha coming in with 12 goals, 22 assists, 34 points. So looking at him for point number 35, I do think is another strong way to go. He's on the top line, but the second power play. So looking at who's on the second line, we've got Brad Marchand, Elias Lindholm, and Charlie Coyle. Now, when we look at those playmakers, there's no one set to hit any milestone sort of numbers. Brad Marchand has 47 points, so 21 goals, 26 assists. Elias Lindholm, 11 goals and 20 assists and 31 points. And then Charlie Coyle, 13 goals, 7 assists and 20 points. So no really solid numbers we're trying to key on there, but I do think that second line is going to come out nice and strong. And I think Boston, they come out just with a chip on their shoulder after losing to Toronto. So it's going to be Boston first period puck line. It's going to be Morgan Geekie for goal number 20 tonight, Bo Horvat for goal number 20 tonight. And then I'm going to kind of play around with those line mates there. I do think with Pasta on the same line and same power play as Morgan Geekie, looking at both of them for a point is a solid way to go. And then Brad Marchand and Elias Lindholm, again, on the second line and top power play together. I think it's a great way. And then they're also both on the same power play as Pasta and Morgan Geekie. Now, you could look at Zacha, and there's nothing against Zacha. I do think he can get point number 35 tonight, but I just wouldn't parlay it unless you're looking at who's on line. See, Charlie Coyle's on line 2 and power play 2, where Zacha's on line 1 and power play 2. So I just don't want to mix those around when I am making those point combos. So happy Thursday. I can't believe it's already Thursday, you guys. Where is the week going? Let's make some freaking money. You got Montreal. You think Montreal is barking today? I freaking love it. You're rolling with the Jets. And yeah, the Jets, I tell you, that game last night, can they get win number 12? Irish King, thank you for joining me. Let's get going. We're going to talk the Detroit and the Blue Jackets game in just a minute. We're just going to go down the list here. First, we're going to talk St. Louis versus Washington, and then we'll get to that one. The St. Louis Blues. Jordan Binnington is expected now. I know we've been riding on Binnington. We've been ulting his numbers. This could be the letdown that people are expecting out of Jordan Binnington. The Washington Capitals, there's no denying how hot Ovi is right now, how hot this team is. I am shocked with what they've been able to do on the season. Now the Washington Capitals are a minus 170 favorite, plus 140 here for the St. Louis Blues. The Blues players are going to be shocked, and they're looking to step up and prove what they have. Same with, some guys on the Penguins, especially Raquel. So you got to look at some of these players and think, are they going to be moving? Are they looking to move? And is someone going to want to pick them up? They're going to have to really step up. So I do think we get a lot of strong plays out of the St. Louis Blues. But at the end of the day, I'm not jumping in front of the Washington Capitals right now. This one has a total of 5.5, and I do think it goes over that because I think the Capitals can get at least 4 goals. We could get 2 out of the St. Louis Blues, which pushes us over 5.5 at a solid number of 6. I think the Washington Capitals laying the 1.5 at plus 142 definitely is a way to go in this one in a way that I like. I also really like the first period puck line here for the Washington Capitals, laying a half a goal in the first period on that puck line coming in at plus 146. Yes, Binnington has stood on his freaking head coming out of the Four Nations, and I've been so proud of him. I think it ends tonight. I look at these top lines for the Washington Capitals and how the Capitals lost their last game in that 3-1 loss at home to the Calgary Flames. They're going to be pissed coming into this one. Taking a loss in their home arena really would have hurt. Now, Ovi was able to get us a power play goal in the last game. I just had him for the goal. But you look at Binnington, 4 games played versus the Washington Capitals. He's gone 1-2 in those 4 games with a 3.75 goals against average. Hard pill to swallow at 856 save percentage. And yes, he's been playing outstanding. I love what we've seen out of Binnington. I just don't think tonight is the night. Now, we have seen the St. Louis Blues win their last 2, and I love how gritty this team is out there on the ice. Huge win over the Seattle Kraken, 7-2. So the Kraken keep proving you just bet their team total under 2.5, and you're going to make money, win or lose with that team, because if they win, they're winning at 2-1, and if they lose, they're still only scoring those 2 goals at most. So this is a one-off road game here for the St. Louis Blues, which I never love betting a team where they're going out on the road for one game and then back home. They're back home versus the LA Kings on Saturday, and then they're on the road again Sunday versus the Stars. So that is a really hard scheduling spot over the weekend. It looks like Logan Thompson will be in goal for the Washington Capitals tonight, and he has a 906 save percentage versus the Blues. So I like where he comes in versus this team. They have the Lightning on Saturday, and then the Ottawa Senators on Monday. And of course, they're sitting first in the Central. The last time these teams matched up, we did see the Caps just steamroll over St. Louis. It was an 8-1 win. These teams, though, normally play really tighter games. So I do think it could end in that 4-2, 4-3 if something really wonky goes on where the St. Louis Blues are pushing, but more likely that 4-2, and that's why I do like the puck line, but even more so the puck line in the first period for the Caps to just come out, dominate that first period. Now, when I look at a couple other things, we have seen the St. Louis Blues lose their last 5 as a dog. But they have been able to cover that puck line. So like I said, this team is fighting for a wild card spot. I don't think they're going to make it. And I do think here these players are going to start being traded away. So definitely a team to watch for playmakers to step up. But I want to look at a couple of players here for Washington that I really do have faith in. We've got Ovi. We got Ovi for goal number 30 in that last game. He's just 12 goals away now from breaking Wayne Gretzky's goal record versus the St. Louis Blues in his career. 21 goals against them, including 2 hat tricks. You're telling me he's got 2 hat tricks versus this team, and we have a Binghamton in goal that I think is going to be shaky tonight after just coming back down to earth off of that high. And I've got to start looking at alt numbers for Ovi. So Ovi for the anytime goals coming in up plus 110. We're getting good value there. The 2+ goals for Ovi at plus 700. And I want to go hat trick at plus 3,400 when he has 2 hat tricks in his career versus this team. So I'm going to look at Ovi for the hat trick. I'm not going to take the 2. You guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a half unit on the anytime goal at plus 110, a half unit on the hat trick at plus 3,400 and call it a day. I don't want to have a ton of bets out there on Ovi tonight in case Binghamton does come out as solid as we have seen him. And I'm the first one to say I thought he would come out that solid. It's just tonight, I think this Capitals team is going to be so hungry for the win after that loss and how they lost. So looking at Ovi, I will take him up to the hat trick. He's also got 47 points, so that would put him at 50 points. You can look at him for 2+ points tonight, also because we know he could get 1 goal and a couple assists. So if you want to look at him for 2 points or 3 points tonight, I love that as well. Now looking at John Carlson, he's been rolling hot for us. I'd look at John Carlson for the point. He always feeds it. He's always getting those assists. He's got 39 points on the season, 35 assists, and 4 goals. So you could see assist number 36 tonight, point number 40. We're also going to look at Tom Wilson here. He scored at least 1 goal in 4 of the last 5 home games for the Washington Capitals. So Tom Wilson rolling in here, 19 assists, 26 goals on the season, 45 points. And Dylan Strome, point number 60 tonight. Sign me up all day. 18 goals, 41 assists, 59 points on the season. I'll take him for goal or point number 60 tonight. So you're going to have to play around with those, kind of parlay them together to make sure you're getting value. Don't lay a lot of juice on those points unless you're throwing it into a parlay. I do think Strome will get the assist. So if you just want to bet the assist, that's where I would go. Now on the other side, like I said, St. Louis is fighting for a wild card spot. These players are looking to step up and prove to teams that they are worth taking and going somewhere. Jordan Kyrou has 47 points on the season for the St. Louis Blues, 24 points, 23 assists. Robert Thomas, 47 points as well, 16 goals, 31 assists. And then Jake Neighbors, we're sitting here with 27 points, 14 goals, and 13 assists. Now, I would look at Holloway as well, 17 goals, 25 assists. So there's a lot of playmakers on this team that you can really circle. But I do think 4-2 win for the Washington Capitals. So where I really want to put the majority of my money is on the Washington Capitals players and parlaying them together. Joel Hofer is confirmed for the Blues. Oh, Rob, you just made my absolute freaking day. That is so great because I didn't really want to bet a lot against Jordan Binnington. Now that I know that, I'm going to take Ovechkin for the goal, for 2+ goals, and for the hat trick. So the 2+ goals at 700. So I'm going to put a third of a unit on each and every single one of those. I do think he has every ability to get multi-goals out there, especially on Joel Hofer. So yeah, the Kings didn't play well to the third. It was just not good to see for sure. And I do like Tampa Bay -1.5, even though Irish King, you're going against my Calgary Flames. Come on. I know I'm doing it as well. Boston money line, Minnesota Wild. Yeah, the Minnesota Wild on the money line and in reg. We're going to talk about the Wild in reg, but the Wild in reg is like plus 200. I still don't understand why Utah's getting any freaking love. So we're going to get to that in just 1 minute, you guys. First, Let's look at the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Detroit Red Wings. You guys were throwing this one out, asking my thoughts as soon as we got into the show. The Red Wings, this juice keeps going up. They were, minus 146, minus 150. Now they're a minus 162 favorite. It's just not a place I can put my money, but I do think they get the win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Columbus is a team that you bet at home. Bet Columbus, bet their team total when they're at home. Columbus out here on the road has these hiccups. They have these struggles. Now, can they get a couple goals on Cam Talbot? Yeah, they can. But are the Red Wings a better team, especially at home? I think so. So it's got to be a play on the Red Wings some way. The Columbus Blue Jackets at plus 134 on that money line, total of 6.5. The juice to the total is on that under. Now, the Red Wings have scored 3 or more goals in 9 straight games. They've got a strong power play, converting at 29.2%, second best overall in the league. They haven't been that strong on the kill, though. So I do think Columbus will score, but Cam Talbot is tricky. Cam Talbot has a 905 save percentage. So it's going to take a lot out of Columbus for them to light the lamp. They have to dig deep in this one and keep firing that puck away at him to try to get it past him. But Elvis on the other side, man, I tell you, he's going to let in a couple of weak ones here by the Detroit Red Wings. He's coming in 21, 14, and 4 in the season, 895 save percentage. Elvis, just start showing up in these games a little bit better. But that being said, the Columbus Blue Jackets on the road, the defense really doesn't give him the support. They don't give him a lot of support at home either. So there's only so much a goaltender can do. Now, Columbus did win those 2 games at home. Beautiful. And I'm talking absolute beautiful freaking win over the Stars in their last game. It was a 6-4 win. I was so impressed with Columbus. And then we know they got that big win over Chicago as well. I think it was 5-1 or 6-1 win for the Columbus Blue Jackets over the Chicago Blackhawks on baby Johnny Gaudreau's birthday. It was sure a touching day in Columbus, but there's a couple ways we can take this. So when we look at the last meeting between these two, we did see the Red Wings get the win, and that was January. They won 5-4, and they've also won the 3 meetings prior. So they have dominated here, winning the 3 prior, but 7-2-1 in the last 10. So I do think the Red Wings come up with the win. I think they're going to hit Elvis, and I think they're going to get 4 goals. So looking at the Red Wings team total over 3.5 at plus 104, definitely a really solid way to go. That's the way I will be going with this game. When we do look at Columbus, they've been able to win those first periods. I would expect both teams to score in the first period, to be honest with you, if Columbus is going to be able to score, because Columbus has won the last 4 first periods, but I think the Red Wings will answer back, and I'm not sure if they answer back twice in the first period. So I'd look at the over 1.5 if you think Columbus has the opportunity of winning that first period, because I truly believe the Red Wings will get on the board. So I'm going to stay off of it. I'm going to look at some players and some player points that I'm liking tonight. I'm going to circle Dylan Larkin for 2+ points. And actually, let's try pulling that up again. FanDuel likes to ask me to verify that I am a human all the time, and then it won't let me get into these odds, and it drives me crazy some mornings getting ready. And it's only because all weekend I was doing in-game live and during the week. So it's not FanDuel's issue. It's just that I've been on the books so much. Dylan Larkin for 2+ points is coming in at plus 230. I absolutely freaking love it tonight for Dylan Larkin. I do think he can, and I just want to get that bet in after. I do think he can get a couple of points in this game, because I think the Red Wings put up at least 4 goals, and I'm thinking he's coming in with a point or a goal and an assist. So he's got 24 goals, so that would be goal number 25. He's got 29 assists. That would be assist number 30. You can see it playing out that way. 53 points on the season. That would hit him at 55. So I'm going to look at Dylan Larkin for 2+ points. Hopefully it's via a goal and an assist. Now you can look at DeBrincat here. He's got 50 points on the season, 26 goals and 24 assists. And Patrick Kane, love what we're seeing out of him. 35 points overall for him, 21 assists and 14 goals. Lucas Raymond's been hot as well. Can we get Lucas Raymond for point number 70? Heck yeah, we can. I would look at these players, Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond as well, on that power play. I think they come out nice and strong. Lucas Raymond has 41 assists and 22 goals. Let's take him for point number 70. Okay. Lucas and Larkin, I freaking love it, Blake. Great way to go with those ones. Let's take on the Buffalo Sabres and the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, the Carolina Hurricanes, a large favorite after taking a road loss. This team, I tell you, they've had their struggles. And Mikko Rantanen added to this team. And you guys, I'm shaking my head at how little production he's had. So the biggest question mark is going to be, with his contract coming up, is Carolina going to start shopping Mikko Rantanen before the trade deadline to try to get him somewhere else and get some money for him? Or are they just going to pay up and keep him? I think they should pay up and keep him. There's a reason why the books took Carolina from, third, fourth to win the Stanley Cup. And actually, let's just check that out right now. We're going to squirrel for a minute. They've actually dropped to second with the lack of production they've got out of Mikko Rantanen. Everyone expected, including myself, him to be an automatic injection into that lineup and finally be the other forward they needed out there. Well, it just hasn't happened. So now they've dropped to second for the Stanley Cup odds. They're coming in at plus 700. Edmonton Oilers at plus 650. So I do think they probably are interested in seeing what they can get. They're probably talking to some people. But at the end of the day, you've got to keep him. Like looking at what he has done out there, it hasn't been great. 1 goal and 2 assists since joining the Carolina Hurricanes. And then you look at Nature's going over to the Avs, and he is just being lights out on that line with Nathan McKinnon. So maybe the Avs did win that trade out there. So let's break this down, this game. We have seen Buffalo be able to score those goals as of late. They've been getting on the board. They won their last 2. They beat the Ducks. So that doesn't impress us, right? They beat the Ducks 3-2 in their last game. But Carolina's been a mess. They have lost their last 2. That road loss to the Montreal Canadiens on Tuesday, they got shut out, you guys, 4-0. It was ugly out there. And then they have Edmonton on deck. So that concerns me a little bit because they know how strong Edmonton is. Edmonton, the top odds here to win the Stanley Cup. Carolina knows that. Carolina knows they're a stronger team. Carolina's sitting second in the Metro. We know Edmonton's second in the Pacific with their couple of losses coming out of the break. And then Buffalo is 8th in the Atlantic. So why are they going to take Buffalo seriously? And then you've got to look at Carolina and the price. They're minus 230. So looking at the Buffalo Sabres, plus 1.5 is coming in at minus 130. I do think, so we have seen this one trend. The Buffalo Sabres have won their last 8 first periods versus Metro. So if you like trends like that, then you got to think you're not going to get the Buffalo Sabres at a better price than plus 1.5 at minus 130, right? Because if Buffalo goes up first, you're not going to get the plus 1.5 at that price. I do think this will be a hard first period, especially with Carolina home off of that loss. They're going to look to turn things instantly around out there on the ice. Sebastian Aho, we know how strong he is. And I do think Mikko Rantanen really starts to tick. So I don't think you'll get the plus 1.5 at that price again. I think you'll have to take plus 1.5 at minus 210 if Carolina scores right away. So I would be cautious of this one. I think Tage Thompson comes out and gets another goal on the board. He seems to be playing with the major chip on his shoulder. I do like Rasmus Dahlin as well. He's leading this team with assists in 36. So this one, I'm a cautious player, right? I'm a cautious bettor. I do think there's a huge look ahead for Carolina. They got just destroyed on the road. I think Buffalo first period, they can come out and get the win. So maybe the best thing to do is just look at the Buffalo Sabres plus 0.5 goal in the first period. So you're taking that puck line for the first period instead of the full game for the Buffalo Sabres. And let me just give you the price on that one. Minus 154. See, the books make it unbettable. So, okay, we can't do that. I don't like this game. Let's talk about a game I like. The Calgary Flames taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, Calgary rolling in here off the win versus the Washington Capitals. Such an impressive win, especially for them to get it done in Washington. They're a plus 180 underdog on the road versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are rolling in at minus 220. Got a total of 6.5 in this one, you guys. Minus 142 to the under, plus 116 to the over. And I'm kind of shocked by that because I do look at Tampa and I look what they are able to do in their last game out versus the Oilers. They put out 4 goals and held the Oilers 2-1. I do think Calgary has been scoring nicely as of late. I can count on a couple goals out of Calgary. And I do think we see Tampa get for themselves. So I'm looking for the Tampa Bay Lightning to go over their team total 3.5. I do think Calgary stays under the 2.5 because I really do think it's a 4-2 style game. Calgary's team total under 2.5 goals coming in at -122. Calgary's coming off that hard game, and then they have the Panthers on deck on Saturday, the Carolina Hurricanes on Sunday. They're in a really hard road trip right now. They are going to have some struggles out here in some of these games. And I look at Andre Vasilevsky, and I think Vasilevsky will stand on his head today. Now, on the other side, it's Dustin Wolf. And you all know I love Dustin Wolf, but especially at home. That's where he excels. He's out on the road in this one. Tampa, in their last 5 games, has averaged 4.8 goals per game. I just think they come out and light up Dustin Wolf. And I hate to say it because you guys know I'm a Calgary fan, but look at Andre Vasilevsky. Look at him over his 28.5 save shots on goal. I would ult him up to 32 plus save shots on goal. Calgary offensively is going to dig, and they're going to dig right in front of that net and generate those shots on goal. But I think Vasilevsky just plays outstanding. Now you look at the Tampa Bay Lightning. In their last 5 games, they have only allowed, it's under 2 goals, allowed 1.8 goals per game. Their kills sitting right around 80%. So this is a strong team defensively and in net. With Vasilevsky in goal tonight, I really do think Tampa can win, cover that puck line. Now that last game that they lost to the Oilers, or they beat the Oilers 4-1, I like the puck line of 3.5. I got greedy. I should have just laid the 2.5 because they did win by 3 goals. Looking at the Tampa Bay Lightning -1.5. Tonight on the puck lines +144. I don't blame you if you ulted to laying 2.5. I do think they win this by 2.5 goals. So I was saying 4-2, 5-2. I think Calgary, no matter what, stays under, and we see Tampa go over. So looking at the playmakers here, and especially the Tampa Bay Lightning, you guys, if you haven't realized, since January 1st, this team's 9-1-1 at home since January, and the Flames have only won 1 of the last 5. In Tampa. I just can't back them. The home team's gone 7-2 in the last 9 meetings between these teams. Now, Jake Gunsel, definitely a playmaker you want to circle out here. 55 points for him on the season, 27 goals and 28 assists. I'm going back to Braden Point. Braden Point made his money on the power play, and I look at Calgary's kill. Calgary's kill is nothing to talk about at 72.5%. So Braden Point for the power play point tonight, +190. We got him at +200 in that last game. He's got 31 goals and 29 assists on the season. Look for that 30th assist tonight. Now, Nikita Kucherov is 3rd in the NHL in scoring. He's got 85 points. He's trailing Nathan McKinnon and Leon Draisaitl. So look for Kucherov to continue to play strong. Assist number 60 tonight. I think he's able to get 59 assists and 26 goals. So I'm looking for Nikita Kucherov to come out nice and strong. Nick Paul has actually been really lighting that lamp in the last 4 games at home for the Lightning. Nick Paul has been able to get a goal. So definitely someone else you want to look at. And then the over. The over 10-4-2. I don't know where the 6 came in the last 16 meetings between these 2 teams, you guys. So I'm looking for more trends to that over. Okay. Let's keep rolling here. We've got a loaded slate, you guys. We've got the San Jose Sharks. Tony, I bet more straight bets. Absolutely. More straight bets out there. When I talk about those player points, I like parlaying the player points for the line combos, because when you look at those line combos, if you think one player is scoring that goal, well, it's got to be assisted by someone on that line combo. The problem is you get into the points, and I wouldn't parlay goals and assists. Like, I'm looking at just straight points, because if you take normally like Nikita Kucherov for a point tonight, it's going to be -200. So if you truly believe he either gets a goal or the assist, and you believe the other player on his line gets the goal or the assist with him, then you parlay their points. And that's the only way. And I'm not doing each player for a unit. I'm doing them for half a unit each, making it 1 unit on that line combo. So those line combos are a really good way to make money. You guys know I always am parlaying Kempe and Kopitar for their point, but it's very dangerous to parlay a lot of things, because we know the books want you to bet those parlays. They're like the fun scratchy tickets at the drugstore that you're able to instantly, buy for $20 and throw your $20 away, because there's nothing under that scratch them. So parlays, they want you to take, but definitely be careful. Okay. Where were we? Did we talk? No, we haven't talked the Sharks and the Montreal Canadiens. So many games to go over today, you guys. The recap alone is going to take 20 minutes. The San Jose Sharks and the Montreal Canadiens. The Sharks, they actually win in Montreal. This is dangerous dog on the road in the San Jose Sharks at plus 180. Montreal, you know I love their playmakers. Kyle Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, Patrick Laine. They're minus 220, though. It's way too juice. The puck line for the Sharks, plus 1.5 at minus 142. Not a bad price. It's getting up there where I don't love it, but still not a bad price. Montreal, if you believe they're going to win this by 2 goals, minus 1.5 at plus 116. Now, total of 6.5, juice to that under. Vanacek versus Sam Montague. Now, we know the Sharks have lost their last 6, but they've won the last 8 meetings in Montreal. So, interesting spot for them rolling into this game. We also have the Montreal Canadiens off that big win versus Hurricanes. They won that 4-0, got the shutout win. So it was a great win for them. And now they have the Sabres Saturday and then the Sabres on Monday. So they have a home and road versus the Sabres. I'm looking for both these teams to get on the board in the first period. I think both teams come out hungry to score those goals. We're seeing the Sharks on quite a long road trip here. They got 4 more games after this one, and they've been out on the last couple. So long road trip. I'm going to take the over 1.5 goals in the first period at minus 138. Both teams to score in the first period at plus 160. The last time these teams matched up back in February, right before the break, it was a 4-3 win here for the Montreal Canadiens. I like the Sharks. It's a lot to ask. It really is. Plus 180. You can just look at the puck line, especially when you look at the Sharks team and the problems that they've had out there on the ice. But I think they can get it done today. Celebrini, he has 42 points, 18 goals, and 24 assists. Tyler Toffoli has scored a goal in each of the last in 4 of the last 5 road games. So Toffoli has been a difference maker. I'd look at Celebrini and Toffoli tonight. On the side of Montreal, Lane Hudson, actually a really interesting player to look at tonight for his point. He's got 43 points, 39 assists, and 4 goals. I do think it's assist number 40 tonight because you look at the Sharks defense, are giving up those points at the highest rates to defensemen. So Lane Hudson coming out here nice and strong. He's a fast skater out there on the ice. You know, we can't deny Kyle Caulfield. He's not hitting any milestones tonight. He's got 51 goals, so 51 points, 27 goals. I can talk, 24 assists. Nick Suzuki, 57 points. So Patrick Laine, 22 points. So lots of playmakers out here. I do think Kyle Caulfield gets that anytime goal. And hell yeah, especially with Joel Hofer, we're taking Ovi for an anytime goal, 2+ goals at plus 700, the hat trick at plus 3,400. We're all over Ovi tonight. Patrick Kane, Vetrano, and Marchessault, 2+ points. I like where you're going there. That is for sure. You got to love taking those players for the multiple points. You're getting so much value. Let's look at the next game here on deck, you guys. We have the Philadelphia Flyers versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. Okay, so in this one, these teams just played, right? Like, I was looking at this line and I was looking at what we saw in that last game and going, why the heck are the books giving the Pittsburgh Penguins so much respect? So looking at it, minus 104 for the Penguins at home. I know there's Sidney Crosby. I know there's Raquel. I like the playmakers on this team. But this team just got destroyed by the Flyers. The Flyers just won 6-1. They're coming in at minus 115 on the money line on the road, total of 5.5. I know that instant revenge angle. Pittsburgh can't keep anything out of their freaking net. So how are they ever going to win? Especially when the Flyers just were able to get it done. They're getting production up and down those lines. They have lost their last 5 on the road, though. They have had those struggles on the road, but they did win at home on Tuesday, 6-1. So I'm going to look at the first period over 1.5. I do think we'll see multiple goals. If they all come out of the Flyers, great. If they do come out of the Pittsburgh Penguins, because we know that first period has been strong for them, then great as well. So just see over 1.5. The Flyers have sucked, though, in Pittsburgh. They've only won 1 of the last 7. So this could be another reasoning behind this line. The home teams won the last 4 meetings. I'm going to look at some players that I do think will step up. I'm not going to take a side. Like I said, these lines, they don't make any sense. First period over 1.5 at minus 122 is the only bet for the game. itself. When we look at players, Raquel for point number 50 tonight from the Pittsburgh Penguins, he has 49 points, 25 goals, and 24 assists. So I do think he is in the optimal spot to really perform, to hopefully get traded. Now, I hope Raquel and Sid go. Sid deserves to be on a winning team in Pittsburgh. I know you want to keep him, but I want to see Sid be on a team that has an opportunity to get to the cup. And we know it's not going to be the Penguins. And for all Sid wants to stay in Pittsburgh as well, come on, Sid. We want to see you on a line with Nathan MacKinnon. You guys, I want Colorado to go after Nathan MacKinnon. I've said it ever since they traded away Mikko Rantanen that should be their prime target for their team. And then you saw Nathan MacKinnon, Connor McDavid, and Sidney Crosby, how they gelled playing together. Well, he can't come to Edmonton. That's one thing I'm going to say. As a Calgary fan, I'd absolutely die if Sidney Crosby was in Edmonton with Connor McDavid. That would just be evil. Plus, they probably couldn't do it with their salary cap. But Colorado probably, it's going to be a stretch as well. But I think Colorado could get it done. Bunting had his appendix out also. This is not good. The one shining light, really, other than Sidney Crosby, was Michael Bunting for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And yesterday, those appendix needed to come out. So Bunting is going to be out of this lineup for a while. It's not good. It's not good, you guys, at all. I do think this one can go over that total. Again, that total coming in at 5.5 minus 124 to the over. But it will be the first period over 1.5 goals for me. Travis Konecny on the Flyers has been leading this team right now, 62 points in 59 games. So he has been flying hot. Let's get to a game that I just don't understand this line. And I feel like it's a trap. You guys know I bet against the Winnipeg Jets yesterday. I thought the Ottawa Senators would be able to pull something off. I just didn't like how many games the Winnipeg Jets have been playing. And now we're fourth game in 6 nights now for the Winnipeg Jets coming into this one. They're only minus 137 versus a Nashville Predators team that has no offense to speak of. It's like this team forgets that they have to score goals to win these games. And their defense, well, their defense isn't stellar to talk about either. So it's a really hard line to look at when they're only – when the Winnipeg Jets aren't a $2 favorite. Yes, I know they played last night, but it's still the Winnipeg Jets, and they have every ability. I think the Ottawa Senators would have provided a lot more ability to get the win than the Nashville Predators ever will today. So this total of 5.5, minus 130 to the over, with the inability to score here, how can we take the Preds to get anything done? Sarah's coming in to go. Now, Eric Crombry has had really solid numbers, but when we look at him versus the Nashville Predators, kind of sketchy, you guys. 2 games versus the Preds, and he's got a 3.63 goals against average and an 881 save percentage. So is Eric Crombry going to be the undoing tonight to the Winnipeg Jets win streak? I sure hope not for him and for this team, especially with them when we start to look at what Winnipeg fired on Allmark in that last game. And I tell you, the Ottawa Senators are lucky that we didn't see, 7, 8, 9 goals out of Winnipeg, because they put up 38 shots on Allmark in that one. I'm looking here, and I don't know. I really don't. I keep looking at these lines, you guys, and I go, this line just stinks. Why aren't we having to lay more juice on the Winnipeg Jets? Let's look at the Winnipeg Jets first period puck line. First period puck line, second night of a back-to-back is my favorite bet with these strong teams, because in that first period, they come out and score. You don't start to see the tired legs of the second night of a back-to-back start to hit until midway through the second and into that third. So give me the Winnipeg Jets first period puck line. I know the Nashville Predators, when they've been scoring, it has been in the first period, but I'm not buying it here. This team just hasn't been scoring enough goals. So first period puck line, we're going to get this bet in, you guys. I can't remember the value. This is a game that my head has been going back and forth on where I'm actually going to land. It's plus 170 first period puck line here for the Winnipeg Jets, and how I have to go. This team is way too strong to fall down to an inconsistent Nashville Predators team that can't score. So the problem is the lines are begging you to take Winnipeg. They begged us to take Toronto earlier this week, and Toronto won. They begged us to take another team, and they lost. So do what you guys want. I just think it's first period all day long. Yeah, let's go for number 12, David. Hopefully, I love to see these teams on those big win streaks for sure. Okay, where are we at, you guys? We're at, man, we still have 3 more games left to go over. You guys are hanging tight here. We'll do the recap as soon as we're done. We're going to talk the Minnesota Wild versus the Utah Hockey Club. Okay, who else thinks this line is stupid? Like, I really do. My little nephew would kill me. He hates the word stupid, but this really is. Why do the Utah Hockey Club deserve to be a minus 184 favorite? I know the injuries here to Minnesota, the suspension to Ryan Hartman, Kaprizov still out of the lineup, Gustafson's still in goal. This is still a team that has playmakers. And now you're going to tell me the Utah Hockey Club deserves to be a minus 184 favorite at home where they played inconsistent. Now they've been starting to get things turned around at home, but I can't trust them here in this situation. And we're getting the Minnesota Wild in regulation to get this win at plus 230. Sign me up. I absolutely think they can get this done. Gustafson is way too strong in goal for this disrespectful line out here for the Wild. If you just want to take the Wild on the alt puck line, I like that as well. Lay the 1.5 on the Minnesota Wild. They have to come out and get this win versus the Utah Hockey Club. The Utah Hockey Club has been playing above what I thought they would have played in their last couple. But then you look at that last game, it was versus Chicago that they got a 2-1 win. So they've got the Devils on deck on Saturday. We're looking here at the Minnesota Wild. Yes, first night of back-to-back. Colorado is in front of them, but they can't mess around because we're looking at Utah 5th in the Central. They're sitting 3rd in the Central. They need the points in every single game that they can get. They can't mess around and not take Utah seriously tonight. The Wild won't. They're going to get this win. Now, the last time these teams matched up back in January, Utah did get the win. 4-0. So they got the shutout win, and they are starting to turn things around on home ice, but I'm not buying into it. I do think the Wild in reg at plus 230. Let's just look at what those alt puck lines are. Again, it doesn't make sense why the alt total goals. No, we want the alt puck lines. There's the alt puck lines. The Wild minus 1.5 at plus 350. I'm going to get that bet in right after 2. I love it. You guys, I think the Wild win this 4-2. So that is where I'm going with that game. 2 more games left on deck, you guys. We got the Chicago Blackhawks next versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas coming off that loss to the LA Kings, in which their defense really crumbled there. They held tight in the first and the second, allowed the Kings to just steamroll in that third, and pushing us over the total, not forcing it to overtime. So I had a big problem with Vegas after that last game. Now they're minus 420 favorite here on the money line. We're getting the Chicago Blackhawks at plus 320 on that money line. So that puck line plus 1.5 is plus 124. Total of 5.5. I know how strong Vegas has been in the Fortress, and because they're coming off that ugly loss to the LA Kings, I think they come out strong in the first period. They're able to cover that puck line. It's not a great price in the puck line, laying a half goal at minus 110, but I do think it's a strong way to go. Between these two teams, we have seen that home ice advantage. We've already seen Chicago be able to roll into Vegas, into the Fortress, and pull off that upset win. So Vegas isn't going to underestimate them in this one. They don't have a game till Sunday when they'll face the New Jersey Devils. So sitting first and comfortable in the Pacific here for Vegas, they'll still show up versus Chicago. So Chicago's also gone 2-7 in the last 9 in Vegas. So, and they've lost their last 4. Their last loss was to Utah, like we're talking about. Now, I will look at Connor Bedard for 50th point tonight. He's sitting here with 49 points, 16 goals, and 33 assists. Connor Bedard looks completely flat. Sitting there on the bench, you can see the look of loss in his face before they even take the loss. Like when they were up 1-0 versus Utah, he already looked dejected, just waiting for that game to finish with a loss. He's also been struggling, though. He's failed to get a point in the last 3 games. After the 3 games prior, he was able to get 3 goals and 3 assists. So Connor Bedard is kind of putting a lot of weight on himself as well. He's going to get that 50th point tonight. I can feel it, you guys. So, and I do think it comes via the way of a goal. He's so strong at getting those goals out there. I know it's only 16, but I think Connor Bedard gets on the scoreboard today. He has to put it on himself to be able to get a win here. And I don't think they get a win. I think Vegas wins the first period, and then I don't like the value we're getting anywhere else. Last but not least, the Vancouver Canucks taking on the Anaheim Ducks. Are the Ducks quacking tonight is the question, you guys. The Vancouver Canucks played last night. They're minus 134 here on the money line. The Anaheim Ducks are plus 112, total 5.5. I don't think the Ducks are back barking tonight. What's that, baking? Of course, the Ducks aren't baking tonight. I think we see a strong game here out of Vancouver. I think they come out nice and hot to start this game and get the win. What I want to do in the first period is lay that puck line again. Puck line laying a half goal for Vancouver at plus 170. Like I said in that game for the Winnipeg Jets, I love looking at a team that played on this, is playing their second night of back-to-back first period. Puck line, if they're the favorite coming into the next game, because that way the tiredness doesn't start to show till later in that game and we can get the best out of them in the first period. These teams, though, it's interesting because you look at Vancouver, 4th in the Pacific, 6th in the Pacific here for the Anaheim Ducks. There's only 6 points separating them for a wild card spot. So this is going to be an intense matchup between these two teams. I do expect a lot of hard checking in this one. Leo Carlsson really has been leading the way here for the Anaheim Ducks, but without Trevor Seagrass on the ice, I do think it's going to be a hard one for the Ducks to win. So give me Vancouver first period, minus a half a goal, plus 170. Then I'm staying off the rest of it. The last time these teams did match up in November, Vancouver got a win 5-1. And Quinn Hughes, he didn't get the hat trick, but he got 3 assists in that game. So he had a really strong game. If Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson can both show up in this game, Vancouver wins this by multi-goals. So both of those playmakers need to stand up tall tonight, get things done out there on the ice. Because if they don't, they're not getting the win. Man, that was a mouthful of a show today, you guys. We're going to jump into that recap now. And yeah, it's going to be a great day out there on the ice. I just need a sip of water, you guys. It's a lot of talking straight in a row. It's why I drink a ton of tea and coffee. The coffee is needed. I need coffee beans. Someone forgot to buy them. And that someone would be me. So I am waiting to get over to Starbucks today. Let's get going with the recap. You guys are going to start all the way from the start. Again, there's a loaded slate today on the ice. Let me know. Hit that retweet, hit that like, and hit that subscribe button over on YouTube. Let me know what you're liking, what you're parlaying for any of those players, those line combos out there on the ice, and where you're going to go with those. Let's jump in to that recap. We're kicking it off with the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Florida Panthers. I do think the Panthers get the win at home. I think this is one where you can live bet if Edmonton does go up first. 4-3 style game. Give me the Panthers to get the win. I'm just not absolutely loving the juice we got to lay on them to start this game. I will look at goal scorers. So Leon Draisaitl for the anytime goal for Edmonton, Zach Hyman for goal number 20, and look at Sam Bennett for goal number 20 for the Florida Panthers. And then I do think Barkov and Sam Reinhart get those points on the board today. When we look at the New York Islanders versus the Boston Bruins, give me the home dog in the Boston Bruins. I still don't understand why the New York Islanders are getting so much respect. Noah Dobson is returning to the lineup defensively for them, but one of their weaker defenders. The Islanders have only won 2 of the last 9 meetings versus the Bruins and 1 of the last 4 in Boston. So Bruins home dog. Play around with those line combos for line 1 and line 2 for the Boston Bruins. I think you'll be in the money if you do. Take Morgan Geekie for goal number 20 tonight. And then Bo Horvat for goal number 20 as well. When we look at the St. Louis Blues versus the Washington Capitals, I think the Caps come out nice and strong. Joel Hofer, not Jordan Binghamton. So I'm going to take first period Washington Capitals laying a half a goal at plus 146. full game puck line minus 1.5 goals at plus 142. I'm also going to take Ovi here for the anytime goal at plus 110, for 2+ goals at plus 700, and for the hat trick at plus 3,400. I'm going to look at John Carlson for the point tonight, point number 40 he is looking to get. Now, also remember with John Carlson, those points come via assists. So if you want to look at his assists tonight, I don't blame you, unless you're going to parlay those points because it's going to be juicy. Tom Wilson has scored a goal in 4 of the last 5 home games for the Washington Capitals as well. And Dylan Strome, point number 60 tonight. Sign me up all day. 8 goals, 44 assists for that 49 points. On the other side, Jordan Kyrou, Robert Thomas, Holloway, and Jake Neighbors would be your playmakers I would circle. The Columbus Blue Jackets and the Detroit Red Wings. The Columbus Blue Jackets have been strong in the first period, but I think the Red Wings just dominate this game. I'm going to take the Red Wings team total over 3.5 goals at plus 104. I'm going to take Dylan Larkin for 2+ points tonight for the Red Wings. He has 53 points on the season. Give me point number 54 and 55. You could look at DeBrincat, Patrick Kane, and Lucas Raymond. I love Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond for the power play points as well. Buffalo versus Carolina. Let's go with the Sabres plus the 1.5. I do think they have every opportunity of keeping this a 1-goal game. I love what we're seeing out of Dahlin. He's able to get those assists, and I think Ty Thompson gets that goal. Sebastian Aho for a point tonight, a goal tonight for Carolina. I would look at both of them. The Calgary Flames versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think Vasilevsky stands on his head. Give me Andre Vasilevsky over 28.5 save shots on goal, ulting it up to 32+ save shots on goal. Give me Calgary's team total under 2.5 goals at minus 122. The Tampa Bay Lightning puck line minus 1.5, I think will cash for us. That's coming in at plus 144. Braden Point for the power play point tonight at plus 190. Nikita Kucherov for assist number 60 tonight. And then Jake Gunsel, I would circle. He's been strong as well. The San Jose Sharks and the Montreal Canadiens. I do think first period over 1.5 goals at minus 138. Both teams to score in the first period at plus 160. Now, the Sharks are coming in at plus 180 on the money line. I think it's worth a shot. They've won the last 8 in Montreal. Tyler Toffoli and Celebrini are going to absolutely have to step up in this game if the Sharks want to pull off that upset. Lane Hudson is a strong player to look at the point tonight. The defenseman here for the Montreal Canadiens. The Sharks have allowed 152 points to defensemen this season. So Lane Hudson coming in with 43 points on the season, 39 assists, and 4 goals. When we look, and then Caulfield and Nick Suzuki for their goals tonight, I definitely think are a strong way. We're going to see some goals in this game. The Philadelphia Flyers and the Pittsburgh Penguins, first period over 1.5 goals between these two at minus 122, and that's it for the side. And that total, I don't want anything else to do with it. Raquel for point number 50 for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Sidney Crosby for a point as well. Parlayed those together. The Winnipeg Jets and the Nashville Predators. Again, this line is kind of fishy. I don't understand it. Give me the Winnipeg Jets. Puck line first period laying 0.5 goal at plus 170. Now, Stamkos has actually played really strong versus the Jets. So if you're looking at a playmaker for the Preds to step up tonight, he scored a goal in 5 of the last 6 games versus the Winnipeg Jets. He's got 17 goals, 16 assists on the season. So I do think Stamkos finds the back of the net. You've got Forsberg as well and Ryan O'Reilly. Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor on the other side, though, are going to answer back with everything they've got. Mark Scheifele, 32 goals and 33 assists, 9 goals and 11 assists on the power play. Kyle Connor, 30 goals and 41 assists. And that's 71 points, you guys. Just crazy how strong Kyle Connor has been. 9 goals and 14 assists on the power play. I do think Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor power play points tonight absolutely sign me up all day long against the Nashville Predators defense. So hopefully it gets scrappy enough that we get those opportunities. The Minnesota Wild and the Utah Hockey Club, again, I don't understand the line here. I think Minnesota is live to get this win. I can't believe they're the dog. Give me the Minnesota Wild to win in reg. It's coming in at plus 230. If you just want to take them straight up to get the win, then that's fine. You're still going to get plus money. I also think you can ult that puck line, laying 1.5 goals at plus, laying 1.5 goals for the Minnesota Wild. I can't remember what that line is. Plus 350. Yeah, plus 350. I looked at my note because I have to bet it after and thought maybe it's wrong. It's not wrong. Plus 350, the Wild to win this by 2 goals, 4-2 win by the Minnesota Wild is what I'm feeling tonight. Keep your fingers crossed, you guys. We know so many playmakers out of that lineup. The Chicago Blackhawks and the Vegas Golden Knights. Give me the Vegas Golden Knights. First period puck line minus a half a goal at minus 110. Off that loss to the LA Kings, this team is going to come out nice and strong on their home ice. They also know they can't underestimate Chicago after Chicago beat them in the last matchup. Now, Connor Bedard, look for him to come out and get a goal tonight. Point number 50 should hit for us in this one. And then the Vancouver Canucks versus the Anaheim Ducks. Leo Carlsson here for the Ducks for his goal tonight. For Vancouver, I would be looking at Quinn Hughes. I do think Quinn Hughes with 3 assists the last time he faced the Ducks should roll nice and hot. Give me the Vancouver Canucks. First period puck line, laying a half a goal at plus 170. You guys, it is absolutely freaking time for a Starbucks. The sun is shining out here in YYC. I think I'm going to walk my dogs over to Starbucks. It only takes me 15 minutes. Charlie Lindgren is confirmed for Washington. That is good. I actually prefer Charlie Lindgren to come in 2 goals, so we're good with that. With you all the way on the Jets. Let's frickin' go, David. I love that you guys are here each and every day. Just built one off the show today to Macklin, anytime goal, Larkin, 2 points, and Ovi, 2 goals. Freaking love it, Blake. Let us know what you're getting for value on those. But you guys, it should be a great day out there on the ice. I'm seeing all of your comments. Thank you so much for making sure you come here every day and join me, even though we are late today. So tomorrow we'll be back at noon Eastern for sure. So you guys, all the best in all your bets. Again, check out the SportsGrid app. I just realized my banner wasn't running the whole show. So this is where we're at today, but check out the SportsGrid app for my Madden Quickie. Stay tuned for the Cup of Joe today. Obviously, I need a cup myself. Tea is just not cutting it, you guys. So all the best in all your bets. We'll see you back here tomorrow, noon Eastern. Hit some anytime goal scorers as well.